All right, the Four of Pentacles. Why you got the Four of Pentacles? Because there's a Two of Pentacles. What are you guys juggling? The Tower. So something definitely, some sort of changes really happen. Unexpected changes, yes. And I feel like you guys have definitely been trying to keep the balance of the situation for a long time. But now, the situation with whatever you're keeping the balance of is not really interesting. Like, it's like interesting to you anymore. Like, you're running on empty. Or, to say the very least, that you guys are feeling a little blocked at this moment emotionally. So, the situation doesn't look like it's very fun to deal with, of course, right? The Four of Pentacles usually just talks about feeling stuck in your emotions, feeling stuck, and you're not really sure what to do, how to get out of your situation, really. And I feel like, it's just starting to grow apathy. So the Queen of Swords being the heart of the reading is really good, considering that the Four of Cups, does talk about their feelings, feeling of being stuck. But the Queen of Swords can always cut herself out, right? The Queen of Swords cuts herself out of any situation. She never gets stumped or stuck anywhere. Same with the Queen of Pentacles. She always has a strategy. She always has a plan. If she ever feels like she's in a tight situation, she has a strategy in mind, or she takes her time to develop a good, strong strategy that will help her get out of it. So I like that both of these queens here, for you male or female guys, or they're coming up for you guys right now, considering the Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups. I want to say every four in the world except for the one that's right there. Oh my goodness. But Four of Cups is definitely in your underlying energy, and I think I like these two there, because this is not just kind of wallowing in it. You're trying to figure out how you can overcome this, how you can deal with it. Some of you guys may have either felt rejected, may have been rejected, or rejecting someone. Okay, because Queen of Swords is notorious for cutting people, right? But it could be that someone's cutting you off, or someone's rejected you, etc. But I kind of get this feeling that it's just something that's just feeling stuck. You're just emotionally stuck here, and it has to do with whatever you've been trying to keep the balance of. And I think it's been, for as much as it lasted, I think for a lot of you guys, like, the situation was that the Two of Pentacles was letting you know that there was something. I think there was a certain decision that you felt like you had to make between something valuable, either between your income, trying to keep balance of your income, or this could have been like a moral decision. So you're in a situation, like, emotionally you're stuck. So let's take a look at why you're stuck, right? I think the reading will tell us more on what's going on. Heart of your reading being the Queen of Swords. You're definitely in your thoughts. It's Gemini season still, and we're getting to the closer to extreme degrees before we transition into Cancer. So our airness is going to be hype. So there's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of, logical concluding. There's a lot of, communication. But I feel like with the Queen of Swords here, parallel to the best path to follow, I think there's a lot of listening, a lot of paying attention, a lot of noticing things. And the Queen of Pentacles is also very good at paying attention to details as well. So I think there's a lot of observation, a lot of receiving, and you're assessing what you're receiving. It's almost like you're creating receipts. It's almost like, but I don't want to say like you're just trying to keep a note of what people have been doing for you and just kind of keeping a note in that regard. But I feel like the situation is that you've been receiving, you've been allowing people to give, but you're also a little bit. With the Queen of Swords, she has a sort of defensive nature. Not saying that you guys are outright being defensive, but I kind of get this feeling that for some of you guys, like, it's, even though the Queen of Pentacles and the King and the Queen of Swords are very independent, they also are very, they're very receptive in their energy, okay? So I kind of get this feeling that for some of you guys, considering that you've been through a lot, when the Queen of Swords comes out, that means that you guys have been through some difficult stuff. You guys are a bit more cautious about what's given to you, how it's given to you, who's giving it to you, right? So, but, that's kind of just something extra that I'm picking up, right? Not saying that you're, like, rejecting whatever you're receiving, but you're also really keeping a close eye on who is giving you what and why they're giving it to you. But I feel like you guys are really, really observant right now. And the advice is pretty much telling you to continue to be really observant. It's like the Page of Swords is all about gaining more information, getting more knowledge, absorbing more data. The Page of Swords can also be talking about communicating your truth, even though it may be blunt and really harsh. But if there's no better way to say it, in Libras, you're good at tact, right? You're really good at communicating. They're the diplomats of the zodiac. If there's not a better way to say something, it's probably because that's just the way it has to be said. Not trying to say that you guys are always looking to
soft people's feelings or anything like that. But it's, me being Libra, I hate having to be rough if I don't have to. If there's a way I could just say something like that I mean, and I get it clear enough where I don't have to hurt someone's feelings, I will do that. But if there isn't a way, there's not much we can do, right, fam? It's like, hey, man, at the end of the day, we gotta be real with something. And I kind of get this feeling with the Knight of Swords next to the Page of Swords, that is some definitely, it has to be clear, or not has to be, it doesn't have to be doing anything. I think this communication is going to be absolutely astronomically clear, like so clear. It's got, it's just so clear. It's just undeniable, that, or this is someone else that's around you right now that's going to communicate some sort of truth to you. Don't know if it's going to be very hard to hear, because this is the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords that we're talking about, or this is the Knight of Swords period anyway. But I kind of get this vibe, there's something that needs to be said, and it's been sitting, just kind of stewing, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's been feeling stuck in apathy, but it's really just getting fed up with the situation being the way it is, right? Just wanting out. That's what I get with the Four of Cups. You're not getting anything out of this. You're tired of it. So, in the past, you have the Two of Wands, right? This is trying to figure out what you're going to do. How you're going to progress forward. How you're going to move forward from where you were, right? Which is being stuck at a crossroads. You're stuck at a crossroads for a second, right? You're just having to make a decision. And that same decision was with that Two of Pentacles. So it was figuring out what option is the most valuable to you. And the only way you're going to figure that out is by knowing how you feel, right? So knowing how you feel about those options, which options seem the most valuable to you? What is the most valuable option for you? And it brought you to the Four of Cups. Whatever you decided, it made you feel apathetic. It makes you feel like you're not, you just don't care. Like you're losing any sort of will to continue to move forward with this. Like kind of what I'm getting with this. Or I kind of get this vibe of, or you're getting really defensive and a little bit like ready to fight somebody, cut somebody, because you're tired of the situation just being the way it has been, which is not interesting, not fun, it doesn't bring anything to the table, right? It's like, even Libra, you are really patient. You're losing your gosh darn patience right now. Like, that's what it looks like. You're losing your gosh darn patience. Things are moving way too slow. Alright? You're tired of it. And it looks like you're dealing with someone that's immature. Because even though you have the Queen of Swords here, you have the Knight of Swords. Even though you have the Queen of Pentacles right now, you have the Knight of Pentacles in your external energy. Somebody out here is not really measuring up to who you are. Right? They're not the same level. That's what I'm kind of getting the sense of. You got so many knights with this pairing up with the queens. Queens are, they don't date knights. Not saying that they shouldn't, but they just don't. Because they're not on the same level. Doesn't mean that there's something that doesn't bring you two together. Maybe it's the fun and the eccentricness, or maybe there's something that brings, obviously, the two generations can bring to the table. But the point of this all is that somebody's showing a certain maturity level. Someone's not getting something out of anything. Like somebody brings more to the table than the other person. And that is bringing the apathy. That's what's making the situation feel like, okay, well, I'm bored. Right? I don't really know what to do. I don't know what. And the thing is, it's harder to know what to do when you don't know what you want. There's a lot of cards of thinking and there's a lot of cards of value, but there's not a lot of cards about what you want. So, again, there was a decision that you had to make going forward. Okay, there's a decision that you had to make going forward. How you're going to continue to expand on something, what action you're going to take in regards to a certain passion that was discovered, something that came about. Because that Tower does talk about something that doesn't happen unexpectedly, something that's changed the foundation, something that's changed the whole floor plan, pretty much. Like, it's a totally huge change that's, taking place. And I kind of get this vibe that this has to do with, of course, whatever brought you to making a decision about what you want to do. Whatever it was, it was just hard. I think, the Two of Pentacles talks about, the Two of Pentacles, like I said, talks about which one had the most valuable, or was the most valuable to you. But that Four of Cups is just like, nah. Now, the present, you show the Queen of Pentacles. So you are definitely business-minded, really focusing on extending your career, money-focused, material-focused, stability-focused.
sustenance focused. I think you guys are also maybe taking care a little bit more of your bodies, to getting into a better routine, or getting into a routine anyway that's going to promote your health in a big way. Because the Queen of Pentacles does deal with the physical. There's anything that's is in the 3D that has to do with work, money, health, the body, right? So, this is really earthy, right? So I kind of get this feeling that you guys have really been focusing materially on focusing on what you need to do right now to get yourself in balance in the 3D, okay? So the Queen of Pentacles has been your energy, but then you move into the Knight of Swords. Someone comes in really fast, communicating their truth, or there's something that starts to speed up. But it's a slow progress, and you're very patient with working with it. You're very, graceful with it. It's just that I think it just ends up speeding up and getting a lot faster for you. But if this is another person, there's someone that comes in and communicating their truth. I don't know if this is going to be a good truth, or it's going to be a truth that hurts your feelings. I don't know if this is even you communicating your feelings. So let me go ahead and take a look. Why is Libra coming up as the Queen of Pentacles when she is the Queen of Swords, when they are the Queen of Swords? Why is Libra coming up as the Queen of Pentacles when they're the Queen of Swords? Because of the Two of Wands. Okay, so it's bringing us back to that decision. Come on, the card's getting sticky. Like, they're just sticking to each other. It's not like the cards are messy or anything. It's just like the aluminum or what is that? I have no idea. The paper itself is just like very sticky to each other. Like, it just has like a certain film that's kind of like magnets out to each other. But anyway, but it brings us back to the past. The reason why the Queen of Pentacles is coming, why you're coming up as Queen of Pentacles, is because of the decision that you made. Like, it's like you committed to the decision that you made to make something happen. In some area, you made a decision to make something happen. All right, and if this is love, this is about how you're going to, continue to bring up passion, bring new things to the table, what have you, solve a situation between you and this person and the struggles that you're having. Like, with the Two of Wands, what decision were you guys making? I think ultimately, I just kind of want to know, honestly, why you guys are feeling the Four of Pentacles. But why Four of Cups? Oh my gosh, I don't know why I keep saying Four of Pentacles. But the Four of Cups, what is the decision here in this past? What are you guys deciding between? There's too many. There's too many cards. But you know what I got? I got the Knight of Wands, Ten of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and there was one other card I saw. There's one other card that I saw, and I can't remember what it was, but I saw those. So it may have to do with traveling or something ending, deciding whether or not to end something or to travel. Or to deal with someone that's... So you got another Knight coming out, first of all. Like for instance, this Gemini, Virgo, and the Knight of Wands would have been Sagittarius. So there's a lot of decisions that you had to make in regards to either stability or whatever. Traveling, doing something that you enjoy is fun. The Ten of Swords, ending something. With the Queen of Pentacles, dealing with something with money or career or what have you. Stability. Why? Give me a clear answer for the Two of Wands in the past. Why does Libra have the Two of Wands in the past? My chest got tight all of a sudden. That's weird. I mean, it can explain the anxiety that's in the hopes and fears. Where did this card go? Okay. Two of Wands. Why is the Two of Wands coming up in the past? Okay, this came up before. It landed on the floor, and I was like, I'm not going to take that because it hit the floor. But because it came out in my hand again, I'm taking it. So it's about a new beginning and as far as what you want. It's about what you want. A new dream, new desire. The Ace of Cups, like the cup of eight you see right here, that you do, like the Four of Cups talks about, focusing in an area that you've been in before,
but the thing that you truly may want is right behind you. You just don't see it because you're focusing on the three cups, right? You're focusing on what you can see, what you have, what's physical. So, okay, this is starting to make a little bit more sense. So what you're deciding right now, or at least what you decided in the past, had to do with the Ace of Cups, the cup that you can't see with the Four of Coins, the Four of Cups. Oh my gosh, I'm saying the Four of Pentacles again. Oh my god. Okay, but anyway, so the cup that you can't see in the Four of Cups is the Ace of Cups here, the decision that you're having to make. What do you want? And you're dealing with a situation that you've already been in, or a situation that's familiar, that's already passed. I think that you're looking at past experiences as far as what you want. But I think there's something greater out there. I think there's something greater. And right now you're focusing on what you can see. You're focusing on what's real. And I think in a way that's going to help, because the situation, I mean, it's hard to say, to be absolutely honest, whether it's going to be helpful or not. Because the situation, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just going to be straight out. I don't know. But the situation is this. Whatever you're deciding, it has to do with what you want to do. It has to do with your new desire, right? This is about new feelings. Looking at what you want, looking at your, how you want to feel. This is about you now, right? Not necessarily about relating or trying to, achieve the dreams of someone else. It's about achieving your dreams. And the Ace of Cups is what you're trying to decide. How are you going to get your Ace of Cups? How are you going to, excuse me. No, wow, thank you. Sorry, those of you that said bless you inadvertently while you were, watching this video. Thank you. But the Two of Wands is about making a decision about how you're going to make your dream come true. And with the Queen of Pentacles being working on that, committing to that, is based off of the decisions you made here in the past. So where you're going is the Knight of Swords. It's almost like you guys deal with somebody that's just, I don't know if you did. Let me see. Why is the Knight of Swords coming in? That's such an odd placement. Why is that coming up? It's not odd, but it's just like, it doesn't really, I don't get why that's coming up in your future. That's somebody that's coming in charging to communicate the truth. Something moves in a lot faster. I want to say someone gets rude, but the Queen of Swords is ready to slice and dice. It looks like you're ready to have a fight. Or you ready to slice and dice somebody that's not really along the agenda. Let's see, why is the Knight of Swords in the future? Why? Why is the Knight of Swords in the future? Why? Oh, geez. I had a feeling. I was trying my best. I didn't want to see that. But the Five of Swords is something that's very aggressive. The Knight of Swords is someone that's going to war. Five of Swords and the Knight of Swords, that's someone going into war. A fight, a petty fight, or a fight in which somebody argues about something that they're looking out for their best interest, because perhaps their situation, or perhaps the situation is that they haven't been being, treated either fairly, or they are looking for their own, this person's coming from a very selfish place. When the Five of Swords comes up, when the Knight of Swords is already very tunnel vision, not considering anyone else's truths at all, not really trying to have a conversation. And then when you have the Five of Swords there, that person's legitimately not trying to hear it, because they're looking out for their own best interests. They're being very selfish in that area. So I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's you or someone else. I don't know why that's coming up necessarily. I feel like it's because of really, you've committed to a certain decision to go in a certain way, and you're going to do anything and everything that you can to make sure that happens, or someone else is around you looking to kind of, get whatever they want out of their own situation, and it has to do with you, part of it. Like, what is the Five of Swords about? Like, that's the biggest thing. What is the Five of Swords even about? What are we arguing about? What are we fighting about? The King of Cups. Somebody's willing. Oh, dang. So the King of Cups, it doesn't have to be a real person. It can be someone that's a dream lover, a dream boyfriend, a dream girlfriend. It can be anybody that you've been dreaming of, or someone that's been in, that you believe that, you connect to. Or this is the ideal boyfriend, the dream babe, right? Pretty much plain and simple. So it's almost like somebody is like not trying to hear that this person, or not trying to hear that they can't have their happy ever after with their dream person, right? It doesn't even matter if the person that they're with right now is saying, nah, that's not me. Like, this person's like, fine, okay, well then I guess I'm gonna have to find him or her by myself. That is kind of scary, right? But it's not scary, but it's like, whoa, somebody's like done playing games. Someone is done feeling bored, not getting what they want, not feeling satisfied in the situation. This person's like,
in the future, it's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and find the person that I dream of. This is the person that I really want in my life. Someone that's a perfect match for me. Now, this could be also that someone is not willing to compromise in regards to a relationship, and that causes a problem. Okay, because the Queen of Swords, she can compromise. She's Libra, obviously, right? Not so, the Queen of Swords, Libra lends the energy to the Queen of Swords, but let's be honest, Queen of Swords is more likely to compromise than the King of Swords. But even then, it's going to take a huge amount for her to compromise. And the King of Cups with the Five of Swords, somebody is after their dream, and they're not looking to take no for an answer. So the best path to follow is the Page of Swords. What is the Page of Swords? What is the advice? Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is coming up. The reason why what advice is the Page of Swords trying to communicate to us is the Ace of Pentacles. It's the start of something new. The Page of Pentacles, is the start of something new that can obviously, manifest abundance, stability, security, but it takes some time for it to really get off the ground. And which is why it can offer all those things, right? It takes a long time to get off the ground. It really takes a long time to get really started, get your foot in. But it can lead to stability, support, abundance, and all that. But the Page of Swords talks about getting more information. Getting more information about a solid new beginning, or solid new beginning, a beginning that can lead toward a long-term commitment or long-term outcome, something that has, not just a material, but emotionally stable gains to it, or something like that. Like, there's something to it. It's almost like the best path to follow is saying, like, look a little bit closer into what you want to start, right? What you're committed to, what your new path is, or what your goal is. Now, the Knight of Pentacles being in the external energy, someone that's very focused on money, someone that's procrastinating, someone that's really slow. The Knight of Pentacles is a card for Virgo, but that's not to say that this person, is slow, boring, and etc. It's that this person that may be coming in is a Virgo, or this person that's external from you is someone that's Knight of Pentacles, someone that sees money or sees situations a little bit less, or a little more seriously than the Queen of Pentacles. Because Queen of Pentacles, she rules a lot of the things to do with the third party, the third dimension.